before I came here, I knew, Ashland was the Division II in Ohio.
My first year at Ashland as a student was 1965-66, and that coincided with Coach Bill Musselman's first year.
Well, one of the things I think that is predominant in my thinking is the fact that I got a chance to play here and coach here, and a lot of people don't have that opportunity, and that was a blessing in my life because I had a great experience here as a player. I had a chance to play for 3 different coaches, and Bill Musselman, Jerry Walk, and Joe Godfrey. And then I had a chance to come here as the head coach twice. So when you put all that together, my experience and my time here was a great blessing for me.
My freshman year was the fall of '64 and was recruited by Bob Stokes, who was a varsity coach at Ashland, of course. And then when I arrived here in the fall, they had just hired a new coach only for the freshmen, Bill Musselman from Worcester, Ohio.
I think a lot of people understand that, Ashland is a powerhouse Division II in a lot of sports, but especially men's basketball.
One of the things that draws you is the winning.
Our tradition here is better than anybody's in this state, in the Midwest.
Ashland developed into a big-time basketball school.
It's a feeling of pride to see your alma mater be so successful.
A lot of pride.
And so when you come back and you see this gymnasium, when you come back, you take a look at the football stadium and the fitness center and just a whole lot of things. I mean, there's an immense amount of pride.
We mentioned that first and foremost, that there's not a lot of places that you can go to as far as a basketball program goes that has the history and the tradition that Ashland University has.
The demand for winning basketball. The student body appreciated it, the community appreciates it, and if it hadn't been for the drive and determination of those coaches, their ability to recruit, motivate, we wouldn't be where we are today.
There was a winning attitude at Ashland at that time. There probably still is now, but there was a winning attitude with Coach Martinelli, Coach Stokes, later on Coach Musselman.
We try to carry on as best we can the tradition that they laid down, and it's just something that decade to decade, every team has added something new and kind of left their mark on the program.
To me, it isn't just about the wins and losses, it's about the people that you put out into society, the players, and in my case, I'm very, very proud of the assistant coaches that worked on our staff, Link Darner at Green Bay, and Andy Buhai at Heidelberg, and Steve Fleming, and Tim Fralick at Bowling Green. All those people became excellent basketball coaches, and it gives me a feeling that we did something for our sport too by putting people out that do it the right way, know what they're doing, and have been able to have a success at coaching basketball.
I don't know another university that does it better than us, that helps people feel confident when they get out and they get in the real world of how to communicate with people and how to express themselves.
I wanted them to understand what a great opportunity that they had here at Ashland University. They had the opportunity to go to a great school, get a great education, usually on scholarship, and they had an opportunity to participate in a basketball program that as they went along in life, they would look back on very fondly.
Stuff like the practices and getting thrown out of practice and simple things.
The memories that you have of the games and certain moments and maybe big shots and big wins that you were a part of, that definitely, some of that sticks, but it is the relationships with the friends and the teammates.
Married a gal from here and raised 4 kids from here and enjoyed Ashland ever since.
Well, I think about probably the camaraderie, because at that time it was Ashland College, obviously, and it was a small school.
Ashland always has done a great job of not only educating but teaching people how to express themselves.
An athlete here can find his identity. They're not lost in the shuffle. They're not just another number, another good player.
It's a very disciplined atmosphere, practices on time, no lateness, coats and ties on the road. You're not late for work. You have work ethic.
Team sports instills a certain kind of value system where you depend on others for the most part, and you know that others depend on you, so you can't be selfish. It just teaches you how to get along with people. It teaches you how to accept failure in a different kind of way. It teaches you how to appreciate success because it's not just you.
And you think for 4 years what you're going through is like, this is the hardest thing that I'm going to have to do in life. And in 10 years, anybody that played would go back and do it all over again.
Well, in 1970, when I played for Coach Musselman here, a lot of people will remember that are the old timers here in town. You couldn't get in the building.
There were a number of sellouts.
The people just go right up to the roof, where the roof meets the walls. There's no seats open.
I would say, I'd have to look back in press books, but I'd have to say anywhere from 6 to 10 sellouts in any single season. I don't think Ashland basketball has ever been at a higher point interest-wise from the student body than during that era.
You couldn't get into the games. His dad had a season ticket which gets him in, but the line was out this sidewalk, out of this Case Gym, out to King Road and farther, waiting for tickets.
Case Gym was a little larger than it is now. It held about 3,000 rather than 2,000, and people would love to get to the game early to watch the pregame warm-up. That was the highlight no matter who we were playing.
People would line up an hour and a half, 2 hours before the game, and it would go out to King Road. And you couldn't get in here. I mean, and they could be playing a team that you knew they were going to beat by 50, but it didn't matter because of the warm-ups.
A half hour, 45 minutes before the game started. And then, of course, we came on the floor and did something which was called a pregame show, which you couldn't do nowadays because it's a different world. But we came out and we performed ball handling, and we did a lot of the Showtime type of thing, and it was an attraction.
We had a warm-up drill, which you've all heard of, and the opposing teams, when they came in here, when we came out with the music, they went in their locker room because their coaches instructed them not to stand around and be distracted by the warm-up drill. You got to be shooting baskets and getting warmed up, so they sent them down in the locker room. Happened more than once, more than twice.
Coach Musselman won over 80% of his games. No other coach has matched that.
Bill Musselman took over, and I played for him briefly. And that kind of started, and obviously I didn't start that, but that was the era when Musselman was emphasizing defense and emphasizing basically keep away ball for the most part.
And we played a very slow brand of basketball because Coach Musselman was a believer and an outstanding coach in the matchup zone defense, and an outstanding coach in being able to, where there was no shot clock in those days, being able to keep the score low and being able to beat some people that probably we shouldn't have because we controlled the ball and controlled the tempo of the game.
When we discuss success, people talk about slowing it down and making it a smaller game. The scores are smaller. Still, the margin of victory, if you do the calculation, was still 20 points.
The defense, I remember the first game that was played in Cates Gymnasium was against Walsh, and there was actually a rumor going around that Ashland was going to try to shut Walsh out in a college basketball game. And it was about 9 minutes into the game before Walsh scored.
So he wrote a book, 33.9, which was a national defensive record. The margin of victory was 20, so 53-33. That's where the average scores of games were.
Or the alumni will tell you that they're probably immensely proud of a number of things. The athletic programs, for sure. It's a reputation Ashland has had for a long time. When Dr. Clayton was here, it was acted on the individual, and there were a number of people coming in from other parts of the country, not just locally in terms of attending Ashland, at that time Ashland College. And you just feel proud of that.
I can't think of another college athletic program, certainly in the state of Ohio, that can compare with Ashland's. The history, the tradition, the constant theme of winning. It's just a special place.
Really have nothing but a positive feeling about the basketball program now and the basketball program in those days, because I've experienced it, I think, from every level, maybe different than anybody else. I played here with a guy in Coach Musselman that was a tremendous coach, and then I played with some other guys, and then on through the years I've seen the program develop, and I'm very, very happy at what the university is doing, the commitment to basketball, and where the basketball program is right now.
it's been a wonderful experience, and I hope it goes on for another 100 years.
I think with 100 years, anytime you look at that, anything that lasts 100 years is something that was built on a great foundation. And you know, the university and you know, the program both go through hard times and they go through great times. But it's that foundation of just, you know, the closeness of the community, the closeness of the players and coaches, and that's the thing that's made this basketball program through the years what it is. And you know, we've had some great tradition, great coaches, great players, but you know, everybody that's come through here has been successful because of their teammates. And I think that's something that whenever you look at an Ashland team throughout the 100 years that's been successful, it's because of you know, the camaraderie within the team, and I think that's going to continue here for the next 100 years.